Moral dilemma. Sidney Poitier stars as a cop investigating a violent murder for which his friend is in the frame. They Call Me Mr. Tibbs in half an hour. First on BBC One, the latest on the big screen with Barry Norman.
In this week's show, we have The People versus Larry Flynt. That gorgeous Mr. Darcy becomes a football nut in fever pitch, and Woody Allen talks about his new musical, Everyone Says I Love You. Good evening. According to the director Milos Forman, The People versus Larry Flynt is about America's First Amendment, the right to free speech. According to that militant feminist Gloria Steinem, it should rightly be called Porn in the USA, being about the glorification of a pornographer. And in a way, they're both right. Flynt, played very well by Woody Harrelson, is the publisher of Hustler, America's raunchiest magazine. And since he believes that a woman's naughty bits have as much personality as her face, you'll know there are not a lot of faces in his publication. The film is largely a vigorous account of Flynt's constant prosecutions for obscenity, from the freewheeling 1970s to the priggish fundamentalism of the Reaganite moral majority, and of his outrageous behaviour that turned every court case into a kind of surreal circus.
Sir, you're going to have to take that helmet off. We don't wear hats in the federal courtroom, and there's no war going on around here.
Well, you can never be too careful, Your Honor.
Well, don't worry, Mr. Flynt. The United States government will take care of you. We brought some extra marshals in here today, so I'd appreciate your taking off that helmet. Well, sir, tell me, are you here now to obey the court's order and reveal the source of that videotape, or are you going to pay the $10,000 that I ordered?
Your Honor, I'd like a moment with my client.
I don't need a moment. It is my right, under the freedom of the First Amendment, to protect my sources.
Listen to me. Don't go any further.
Hey, shut up. Relax, Alan, relax.
But along with Flynt's legal battles, plus the account of his born-again, though apparently soon-to-die-again Christianity, inspired by President Carter's sister, and his battle against the drug addiction caused by a crippling assassination attempt, there's the oddly moving story of his abiding devotion to his equally, though more fatally addicted wife, Courtney Love, who shared not only his bed and his belief in the First Amendment, but also his girlfriends. The Flynts are a libidinous, promiscuous couple, and I really don't think you'd welcome them as neighbours. But Harrelson and Love, excellent in her debut movie, give them an appeal they probably don't deserve.
Larry, do you ever think about getting married?
Oh, God. You know, there's nothing more certain to ruin a beautiful relationship than marriage. As soon as you get that ring around the finger, okay, suddenly you have an ownership situation. Prior to that, it's friendly. You're kind to each other. And I'll tell you something, as much as I love you, I want a variety. I'm addicted.
What did we just do?
That's what I'm talking about. Why are you bringing that up?
So, do you think I'm talking about monogamy? Do you think that I'm talking
You're not talking about monogamy.
No, of course not. Larry, how could you misunderstand me?
Well, see, I was wondering, because I thought...
I don't want to get married and stop the way that we live. The way that we live is great. Nothing would change, my God.
Why now?
Because I only want to be with you. You're the only man I want to be with. I want this ring on my finger to tell me that you love me above all other women.
You want a ceremony?
I want to go to a church.
Yes, we'll
I
pay
want to stand in front of a
pay the preacher on the way in, and we'll get a cashectomy from the lawyer on the way out.
You are my life.
The film itself, glossing much too lightly over the exploitation of women's sexuality that is Hustler's sole raison d'etre, tries to convince us that Flynt is right when he says all I'm really guilty of is bad taste. Thanks to his long-suffering lawyer, splendidly played by Edward Norton, he won his right for free speech, thus becoming a most improbable hero, except, of course, to Gloria Steinem, who certainly has a point when she says that he has a lot more to answer for than mere bad taste.
Larry! Hey! Larry! Hey! Larry, you're not getting on that plane.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. Don't do it. Do you think this is some kind of a game we're playing?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 5.5 years since they shot me, and the government
Hey,
had...
I was there too, all right? You remember? You don't see me running around pissing off everybody we're trying to get to help us.
Yeah, well, you can walk, and I'm in this chair. And I got money, okay? I got money, and that gives me the power to shake up this system, Dougie.
Well, find somebody else to help you then. Because this is not what I signed on for. I don't even know what we're engaged in anymore, Larry. If you get on that plane, I quit.
Alan, don't be so melodramatic. You don't want to quit me. I'm your dream client. I'm the most fun, I'm rich, and I'm always in trouble.
Gloria Steinem's attack on the film, launched by a fierce article in the New York Times, has obviously worked because despite Oscar nominations, The People vs. Larry Flint has been a box office flop in America. Now, though, for a look at the top 10 films in Britain. At 10, Matilda, Danny DeVito's enjoyable version of the Roald Dahl story, returns to the charts, thanks no doubt to the Easter Holes. 9, Shine, with Oscar winner Geoffrey Rush excellent as the disturbed pianist David Helfgott. 8 is Ransom. Mel Gibson turns the tables on his son's kidnappers in Ron Howard's superior thriller. At 7, Mars Attacks, Tim Burton's sci-fi spoof, a sort of comic little brother of Independence Day. 6, Jerry Maguire, in which Oscar loser Tom Cruise plays a sports agent and Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. his only client. 5, Romeo and Juliet, Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes in a bold, imaginative Shakespeare for the 90s. 4 is Dante's Peak, Pierce Brosnan, shaken but not stirred, battles with an erupting volcano in a slight but enjoyable disaster movie. 3, The English Patient, Anthony Minghella's superb, multi-Oscar-winning epic starring Ralph Fiennes, Kristen Scott Thomas and Juliette Binoche. 2, Space Jam, Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan make unusual but enjoyable co-stars in a mixture of live action and animation. And at number 1, Star Wars, just as good and possibly even better the second time round, and still topping the charts. And that brings us to Colin Firth, who in Pride and Prejudice attained serious national pin-up status, thanks largely to a sort of 18th century wet t-shirt competition. Now, in the very enjoyable screen version of Nick Hornby's novel Fever Pitch, he plays a London school teacher who is also a football anorak, a sad figure whose world virtually begins in August and then stops dead after the cup final in May. What's more, the joyless blighter is a devoted Arsenal fan. Well, it could have been worse, I suppose. It could have been Manchester United. But the point is that football both dominates his life and nearly ruins it.
Where's your brother?
Hey? He's over there.
Oi! Number 9! You're a donkey!
You never trial with someone,
Yeah, Orient. They offered him a contract as well.
What happened?
Turned it down. Stupid sod, said it was too risky.
What's he doing now?
Runs his own business. Computer something. It's on about 50 grand a year.
What sort of 50 grand a year for a contract with Orient?
So would I.
Don't even like Orient.
Neither do I.
He gets it both ways, though, doesn't he? Gets 50 grand a year, gets to play at a place with floodlights.
Floodlights and a T-bar. I'd love to play at a place with a T-bar.
Bit late now,
Dunno. Stanley Matthews played first division football till he was 50.
Bet you any money you like, you're not playing first division football when you're 50.
No, well, it's the smoking.
It's not the smoking, Steve, it's the crapness.
Only on the terraces can Firth find a sense of camaraderie, of belonging, because it was there, as the product of a broken home, that he had his closest relationship with his mostly absentee father. A neat cameo, incidentally, by Neil Pearson. Football is Firth's shield, his armour against emotional involvement and potential hurt. and his obsession threatens his relationship with his girlfriend, Ruth Gemmell, a fellow teacher scornful of football and known to her colleagues as Iron Knickers. Firth thinks of her as he thinks of the former Arsenal manager, George Graham, careful and methodical. And what's more, she obviously takes a bung because he makes her pregnant. Therein lies the crux of the matter. Gemmell wants marriage and commitment, Firth wants neither, because he's afraid of both, and besides, he's already married to the Arsenal.
No, it's come just at the right time for me. I'm not getting bored with all that pub and football stuff. You can only spend so much time playing Subbuteo. It's time to move on. I think having a kid's a brilliant idea.
It wasn't really an idea.
Well, no, it might as well have been. It's perfect. It's not just a baby. It's, you know, it's you as well. I think we're good together.
I thought there was Miss Jean Brodie.
No, I was wrong. I've been thinking about this. You're George Graham. The Arsenal manager.
And that's good, is it?
Well, it's brilliant. You're careful and organised and methodical and all that sort of thing. That's why we work. I need somebody like that. And you need somebody like me. The opposite. Work well as a team, not even as a team, as a club.
Boy, you do talk some terrible nonsense.
It's not nonsense, it's the truth. It's all working out. Wife and baby, that'll do me.
Who said anything about a wife?
Well, we'd want to do it properly, wouldn't we? What about Liam? If it's a boy. Okay, it's the name of the greatest Arsenal player ever, but it's a nice name, isn't it? And the job, better apply for that now.
What job?
Ted asked me if I wanted to apply for Rosie's head of year job, and I said no, but now, brilliant, perfect timing. Because we need a bit more money, because we'll need a house, or at least somewhere with a bit more room.
Paul.
Ted will be pleased anyway. Liam, brilliant.
Paul.
We can still live near the ground, because it's cheap there. No one wants a football stadium on their front doorstep, see? Except me. I'd pay extra. Well, we won't tell the estate agent that. Mortgage, wife, kid. Cool.
Paul, listen, none of this is real. You're behaving like a little kid. Jesus, I'm impregnated by a 12-year-old.
Thanks. Thanks very much. No problems there.
Very nice scene, that. So anyway, Firth is torn between his personal dilemma and the fate of his team in the 1988-89 season when Liverpool and Arsenal were vying for the league championship. David Evans' film, scripted by Hornby, is full of sly wit and thoughtful observation on the nature of obsession. It's very well played too, especially by Firth, whose character, though often infuriating, is always very likeable.